I would like to call the regular meeting of the Borough of Beach Haven to order on Tuesday, October 11th at 7 o'clock. And the flag salute will be led by me. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First thing, back adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by posting on the bulletin board in the entrance hall of the Beach Haven Municipal Building and mailing the same to the Beach Haven Times, the Asbury Park Press, and the Press of Atlantic City. Mr. Cactus.
Here.
Mr. Keeler. Mr. Maskell.
Here.
Mr. White.
Here.
Mayor Davis.
Yes, here. Okay, could I have the manager's report, Mr. Crane?
Sure, Mayor. I'll begin with the Treasurer's report for the month of September 2016. Cash in the current fund account for the period September 1st through September 30th was $683,045.55. Cash disbursement in the current fund for the period of months of September 2016 totaled $1,213,587.36. The cash balance in the water utility account as of September 30th, 2016 was $1,931,265.38 submitted by our treasurer, Shari Bowler. Moving to department reports, we do have on for approval tonight our 2016 capital ordinance, which will give us appropriations to move ahead on some projects for the balance of this year into 2017. Go on now to a brief description of some of these projects. First being road improvements. We're going to appropriate $130,000. This will allow us to do some permanent patch repairs on many of the roads in town that are a little rough, as well as some overlay through the county Schedule C program, which does allow us to do on these less complicated roads that do have some pitch to it. We can actually put down the 2 inches of asphalt and to extend the life of that particular road. We're looking to refurbish another trash truck to get some additional life out of that particular truck. The amount appropriated for that is $50,000. We're going to be acquiring some equipment for our lifeguards, especially in light of the much larger beach that they have to guard. We're looking to pick up a new beach quad, a gator, and a jet ski. The total anticipated for those acquisitions is $48,000. Public Works has need of an additional pickup truck to replace an old one that's now out of service. We're appropriating $30,000 for that. Public Works also now has need of a skid steer, which will allow them to do the maintenance needed on the hard packed beach walkovers that we now have to maintain. If anybody's seen some of that after a rain, until it cures properly, that particular material does rut and does have some runoff of water. We're purchasing the skid steer to attend to that. The anticipated cost of the skid steer is $65,000. We're also looking to acquire some playground equipment for Taylor Avenue Park that is, due to its age, needs to be taken out of service. That's $40,000. We're also looking to do some additional improvements now that the beach walkovers have been deeded to us by the Army Corps of Engineers. We're appropriating $75,000 for that. We're going to need to acquire a new fingerprint machine for the police department. The old one has been out of service. There's $25,000 for that. We're looking to acquire refuge containers for a borough-wide solid waste collection program. Appropriating $300,000 for that. And finally, we're looking to seriously get into the drainage issue, specifically the stormwater system. We're looking to replace some storm drains, catch basins, pipings, as well as do some the installation and monitoring of the system. We're appropriating $375,000 for this, and this probably will not be the first year, the only appropriation for this. This will be an ongoing thing for the next few years at least. Total amount projected for these projects for the 2016 year is $1,138,000. In the water department as well, we have one project on tap of the water department. We're looking to replace a water main during the course probably of 2017. We're projecting that project to cost $250,000. That's what we have for that tonight. One final note, we did have a groundbreaking ceremony. I know if there was one question I was asked throughout the spring and fall by people that I know that have asked, is what's the status of the municipal building? Well, I'm happy to report at an earlier meeting, we had, we do have a contractor in place for the project, contractor as well as representatives from the state, our own council, and our architect and engineer. We're in attendance on Friday for the official groundbreaking. God willing, within the next week to 10 days, the contractor will be on site and activity will continue. In the contract, it calls for 300 calendar days. Extrapolating that out, that takes it to about last week of July of 2017. So sometime in the middle part of the summer of 2017, we all should have a beautiful new municipal building. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Crane, and now we have approval of the minutes without formal reading.
I have a September 7th, 2016 agenda meeting and a September 12th, 2016 regular meeting.
Has everybody read the minutes? Okay,
Motion to approve.
for a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Ordinance 2016-18, bond ordinance authorizing various capital improvements and acquisitions in and for the Borough of Beach Haven in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, appropriating $1,138,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1,083,000 bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof. Final reading.
This is final reading, so that we can open the floor to public comments. If anybody would like to address this particular ordinance, please come up and state your name and address. In that case, I close the floor to public comments, and we'll go for a vote.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Caxton?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2016-21, bond ordinance authorizing various water system improvements by the water utility in and for the Borough of Beach Haven in the County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, appropriating $250,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $250,000 bonds or notes to finance part of the cost thereof. Final reading.
Again, this is final reading, so that this, I'm opening the floor to public comment. Anybody that would like to speak to this particular ordinance? Is there anybody that would like to come forward? In that case, I close the floor to public comments, and we'll take a vote. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Caxton?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2016-19C, an ordinance amending Chapter 154, Public Health, Safety, and Welfare of the Borough Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, to require toilet facilities at construction projects. First reading.
This is first reading, so there's no public comment, but I just do want to mention that this ordinance came about because somebody from the public came up and made a comment about this, and we looked into it, and that's why we have this ordinance. So do I have a motion? to approve
Motion
this
to
ordinance?
approve. Second.
Mr. Caxton?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2016-20C, an ordinance revising Chapter 173-11, enforcement, violations, and penalties, the Borough Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, to clarify the penalties to be imposed for failure to comply with Chapter 173. First reading.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second.
Mr. Caxton?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Ordinance 2016-23C, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 51 of the Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, to permit the managed care of feral cats. First reading.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Caxton?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
Finally, ordinance 2016-24C, an ordinance amending Chapter 57, 4C2B3, protection of beaches and dunes of the Borough Code of the Borough of Beach Haven, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, concerning the width of the walkway and signage language. First reading.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Second?
Mr. Catskis?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes. Now we
All-
move on. Go
All
ahead.
matters listed under item consent agenda are considered to be routine by the municipal council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds, and any item requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda and discussed separately. All consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes. Resolution 206, returning piling bonds. Resolution 209, returning remaining permit fees. Resolution 210, canceling water charges. Resolution 213, appointing Mary Claire Bunce as alternate deputy registrar of vital statistics. Resolution 214, returning park bonds. Resolution 215, acknowledging managerial appointment to the Historic Preservation Advisory Commission. And finally, Resolution 217, authorizing change order number 1, final, for the 2013 Coral Street project.
Would anybody like to remove any of these for discussion?
Not aye.
No. No.
Okay, and therefore, do I have a motion to approve these resolutions?
Motion to approve the resolutions as read?
For a second?
Second.
Mr. Catskis?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
I have a bill list this evening in the amount of $1,119,568.62.
Has everybody read the bills? And do we haven't actually approved the bills this, last meeting. So do
I've had a chance to review the bills and I'd like to make a motion to approve.
I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Catskis?
Yes.
Mr. Maskell?
Yes.
Mr. White?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes. All right, now we move on to public comment. This is the fun part of the meeting, and I see a lot of people here that obviously want to make a public comment. So what we do is you come up to the microphone. This is being recorded. You're going to be televised, and state your name and address, and we'll listen to you.
I see a lot of my pickleball friends, and if you want to get done early, come on up now. Yeah.
Good evening, my name is Carl Umdella. I live at 15 West 13th Street.
My name is Andrea Jones. I live at 8 Cottage Court in Haven Beach.
We are here because we love the game of pickleball. First and foremost, we'd like to thank the council for everything you've done to support us thus far. There are numerous people here in the audience to support us tonight, but that pales in the number of people that really played this summer. I think we had over 2,000 people play pickleball at the facility here in Beach Haven. And they range from teenagers all the way to probably 80 and 90-year-olds. So the court's got a lot of use. We're here to petition, to ask that we establish permanent nets on the courts to allow us to have a longer period in which to play. Right now, they were closed. We have temporary nets that were put up with your help, with attendants that came. Yeah, put them up. But we found that after Labor Day, we no longer had access to the facility, and we had to find another place to play. Now, the numbers dwindled, obviously, as you can imagine, but even so, we now have over 60, 70 people playing pickleball on the township courts in front of the township building in Long Beach Township, because we can't play down here. We feel like with the permanent courts, a permanent nets that would be up, that it would extend the playing season and afford more opportunity for a lot of people. Last year, there was a charge to play, which I think helped offset the cost of the attendance. In doing a little bit of research, we found that in other areas on the island, from Harvey Cedars, Love Ladies, Surf City, Ship Bottom, and so forth, that they don't charge, with the exception of the cost of a beach badge. A beach badge now gives you access to their courts and allows you to play pickleball. The other thing we would like for consideration, to be considered, would be for any veterans that might want to play, allow them to play for free.
right now, 2.5 million people are playing pickleball. In 2 years, 8 million people will be playing pickleball. I'm just trying to get you to think about what's happening through the future. After Labor Day, and I started an email list after Labor Day, I have over 60 people on this email list, and I have almost 100 people that have signed a petition to get pickleball. This is only since Labor Day. I wasn't here in the summertime to start this petition. So there's such an urge to have this for the community. So it'd really be nice if you could do that.
Kind of an ancillary byproduct of this is, there is a little store right behind where we play, and I think we increased their business a little bit this summer. People would go over there and buy ice cream, buy water, buy soda, and I think you get some residual effects from people going through the town of Beach Haven. People would stop for lunch and buy lunch and spend money, as part of their weekend activities or week-long activities. So I think it's kind of serves a number of different purposes by having it. It's a wholesome activity. It gets a lot of people out there who need exercise, and they don't even know they're getting the exercise in a wholesome fashion.
And it's a game that somebody 8 years old to 80 years old can play on one court together.
And one thing I think that we have found is the camaraderie that exists with all the people that are playing. You might expect there to be some issues that might come up. The only issues I have is probably Ed doesn't see too well, and he makes the bad white. Like that, we seem to have been able to really exist without any controversy in any form. And again, I'd just like to thank the council for your support in the past, and hope that you will certainly consider this going forward.
Thank you, there's very great comments, thank you very much. We'll certainly take everything you've said into consideration. We've already talked a bit about this, and we're very supportive of pickleball, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Does anybody else like to speak to pickleball
I
specifically?
put in my 2 cents on one of
Would you
those.
just come up because it is being recorded?
Would
Yes.
you like a copy of the petition?
Yeah, that'd be nice, thank you.
It's a mess, but
Yeah.
it's here.
You give it to
We
Cheryl.
also have a couple of photographs of different communities across the country and what they've done. just so you can
That'd be
get a-
wonderful, thank you so much. We're very proud of the fact that we have such an active group of pickleball players in our town. Wonderful.
My name is Leo Morendo. I live down the street, West Avenue, 1013. I prove that people any age can play, and it's a good way to lose weight and get exercise. I want to add one thing to what Carl and Andy said. I noticed when I'm down there, I walk out and talk to the people along the fence. Many people are coming from out of state on vacation, and they're captured by pickleball. I think it's doing a lot for the town's reputation, and it'll help our marketing of our island to the outside world.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very much appreciate it. Anybody else like to come and speak to pickleball? I just thought it would be nice to have every pickleball. Okay.
We
Nobody
just
else
have a
wants
show of hands of how many people were here.
Would you, raise your hand, pickleball. Wow, that's very impressive, very impressive. Thank you for coming to the meeting, it's great to have you. I wish you'd come everyone. But thank you so much, we definitely are very interested in what you have to say, and I learned some new things this evening, and I hope I get to play pickleball, I always play a lot of
I will
tennis.
teach you, and I will donate my entire summer if you need somebody to teach pickleball. I'm there for the town.
Oh, that's
If you
wonderful.
need me.
Thank you so much.
Let me just make one comment. First of all, thank you all for coming. I priced and talked to suppliers of nets, and Rich, you might be interested in this. There is a system called a heavy-duty pickleball system, which weighs about 300 pounds each net. Doesn't require that we core drill at all, so the nets could be kept up from May 1st till October 1st, or thereabouts, October 15th. We remove them and then make the facility available for any use in the winter time if you wanted to. And if you ever relocated the pickleball center to someplace else, you could also do that. This is what was recommended by Frank Little, and that's what's being used at Rossmore. And the cost of the system for all 6 nets is about $7,600. So it's not substantial. So again, we'll look at it, we'll investigate it, and That way, we can still make it available, and maybe pickleball in summertime only, and then in the wintertime, it can be available for the kids to do whatever they want on the fixed property.
Well, I think it'd be nice to extend our season into the fall and the spring for pickleball
Yes.
players. I mean, that's important. And we need to discuss that. We've also just briefly talked about maybe taking one of the tennis courts down on off of Pearl Street. You're saying no, okay. I'd like input. The more input, and you'd like to come up and
Yeah,
speak.
yeah, sure.
The more input, the better.
My name is Dean Longwell, I live at 3605 South Long Beach Boulevard in Holgate. I'd just like to say that I've been going to your beautiful park for 6 years. I have grandchildren that are now 6 years old. And I would say that the facility, we've gone over to the rink, and I would say the facility is almost not utilized, ever. And I noticed that and I thought, what a shame, a couple of years ago, until Carl and a couple of other people, Andy, I think, put together this pickleball group. And it's just so amazing to go out there now and see hundreds of people in the park. People coming from Surf City, people actually coming from off the island just to play pickleball. And I want you to consider this. Beach Haven has the opportunity to become the pickleball capital of the east of
Again, anybody else want to speak to pickleball?
I do have to say that people are coming from Waretown, Hufford, Barnegat, they're coming on the island just to play with us.
That's great, and I love the idea that people are patronizing some of our businesses. That's an important feature. Yes, please come forward.
My name is George Russo. I'm sorry for my voice. I live at 13 West Holly Banks in Long Beach Township. I've been coming to the island for almost 20 plus years, and now I'm a permanent resident of the island. In the last 2 years since I've been playing pickleball, I've been in Beach Haven more times than I've ever been in my life over 20 plus years.
Wow.
So pickleball has brought a lot to me, and also I think to Beach Haven because I'm there almost every other day.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Thank you. All right. If there's no other pickleball speakers, I would like to open the floor to any other comments. Yes.
Hi, my name is Pat Valva, and I live at 114 Amber Street. And I hate to break it to you, but Naples is the pickleball capital.
We're from Naples.
So you know. Anyway, I don't play, but I'd love to. I'm here on a whole nother topic. Veterans Memorial Park. The very name means hallowed ground to most people. It is the jewel of Beach Haven. I've heard from a reliable source that in the proposed master plan, there is a proposal to erect a building with 2 toilets attached and horror of horrors, a car park planned in the park. If an already monstrous porta potty has been installed, can this proposal be far behind? I implore the governing body to look carefully at this plan. I don't know if the master plan has been presented yet, but if that should come about, it just boggles my mind to take away that hallowed ground for car parks and buildings. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. And I just want to mention that we have not seen the master plan yet. And so we're holding, and certainly the master plan, we can't afford to adopt the whole master plan. And we'll be looking at that, and believe me, we will consider all your comments. Thank you. Any other, yes?
Holly Lambert, 115 8th Street. First of all, I think it's wonderful with the pickleball court. I'm not a player myself, even though they keep begging me to show up. I'm still a tennis devotee, and that's the capacity I'd like to speak in tonight. But I do think it's a great thing. Anytime you can get people up and active, it's a great thing for the town. It's a great thing for everybody. As you had mentioned, just funny how you led right into that about giving up one of the tennis courts. First of all, please don't do that. The tennis courts are still utilized to the nth degree, and sadly, as you know, 5, 6, and 7 are in terrible, terrible shape. They were in terrible shape 7 years ago, and they haven't gotten any better. Once Sandy hit, you never saw me here again. There's no way I was going to come here and pretend that the tennis courts were a priority. They're not. We obviously have a lot more to do. But Bonnie Lenhart, who is in charge of recreation and parks with the master plan, did speak with the tennis committee. She has called, we've spoken a couple times. She's run some of the ideas by us. And it's kind of a catch-22 because there's no money to redo the tennis courts. And if you want to privatize them, nobody's going to want to take them over because they're in such bad shape. So we kind of have to do something. We have to, get off the mark here and do something. And like I said, as far as, pickleball is wonderful, and obviously we have a great group, but you don't rob Peter to pay Paul. If we need pickleball courts, then we should be building pickleball courts, but don't take from the tennis facility. That would be my first comment. That just came up obviously right there. As far as paying for these courts, we all know they're expensive. And 7 years ago, or even longer, probably prior to your administration, we even said the tennis courts, and I haven't done the figures in about 5 years, but they were generating, netting, not grossing, netting between $10,000 and $15,000 a year. So our suggestion was, why don't we take that and put it into a dedicated fund for the tennis courts? And we're like, in 10 years you can do the courts, or else with a very little help from the borough. No, that money has to go in the general fund. And it's like, but then when we come to you, you say that the tennis courts don't make enough money, but if we put that money away, they would. And when it goes into the general fund, it doesn't do us any good at all, although we are paying for the privilege of playing on the courts. So again, it's kind of like we can't win. We pay to use the courts, but when the courts need attention, there's no money. And yet there is money that they do generate, it just doesn't go into the tennis courts. So first of all, I'd like the council to reconsider that and start looking at ways, because, you sit here and you listen to Mr. Crane's reading a Christmas list a mile long. This town doesn't have money to just throw away, and I don't consider the tennis courts throwing away. The recreational facilities are well used and important recreational facilities, but when it comes time to redoing the water plant or rebuilding Borough Hall, of course the tennis courts are nowhere near that important, because everybody knows that. But you can't let your facilities just go. You've got to do something about them, and this project is actually 7 years overdue. So that would be my first request, is let's start to think about how to fund them. And it could be as simple as taking the money they generate and putting it in their own dedicated fund. I don't see why that's so hard. But we've always gotten shot down on that proposal. The other thing I would like to ask is that last winter the courts were closed, locked, shut down. The lousy ones that are like a road map of America and the cracks are something like over an inch thick, they were open, but they're not good to play on. I do understand why you may have thought that was a good move, because people are walking dogs, they're playing hockey, they're skateboarding on the new courts, and you can't have that. Is there some system, is there some place that perhaps you can come in and get a key to get to the tennis courts, and then maybe give it back, lock it up afterwards, so it's not just open for, indefinitely, but some way that the tennis players can have access to the courts? I mean, we paid for a pass, but we got locked out. So I would appreciate it if all that could be taken under advisement and given due consideration and thought. And again, I'm open to meeting with anybody and available, and I'd be more than happy to do so.
Thank you, Colleen, and we'll definitely take your comments under advisement, and we'll talk about that, definitely. There has been so many things that sort of superseded the tennis courts, but you know me, I love tennis. I'd like to put our true in there.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other comments? Yes.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Bill Green. I live across the street, 1713 West. And I'm an avid tennis player. That's where this came from. But I think I'm not here to necessarily lobby for the tennis courts full time, because I realize, and it came up at a council meeting a couple of months ago, it is busy, especially in the mornings. The mornings are tremendously busy, where there's a wait, we have to wait at times, and we play 3 times a week with a group of about 16 people. And I know Dean plays on a regular basis, he has a group of about the same amount. But in the afternoons, it's not as busy. And this is where there may be a possibility for the overflow of the pickleball. And it's a little bit hotter, of course, in the summertime, but it's a solution of those who are really passionate about it and are in decent shape and could put up with the sun and the heat in the afternoon, where there may be some people there, but there's gonna be open courts just about every day, I would say afternoon. Afternoon until the end of the day, there's gonna be 3, 4 courts available at any given time. So that would be an opportunity for the pickleballers to overflow into the tennis courts. And to the point that you made about revenue, well, that revenue could go to the tennis courts, and maybe that will throw off enough money where you can make the repairs needed for 6, 7, or 5, 6, and 7. Make sense?
Does? And you would use your temporary nets and things on the tennis courts
Yeah,
in the afternoon?
It'd have to be
Right.
the less permanent
Exactly.
aspect. But if they're passionate enough, and if the sport continues to expand, then there's an opportunity there. There's overflow opportunity. Make sense?
Yeah, just for the sake of transparency, the revenue realized by the tennis courts last year was $5,800
5,800?
over expenses. So that's where we are.
All right. We'll try to make it 15,000.
Right, well, it takes a long time, these courts are very expensive. And we have had a very active tennis committee over the years, and I guess you've been quiet lately, so maybe you gotta get up there and start to give us, let's lobby us a little more. We need some more lobbying and ways to get some revenue to do this. I mean, it has been, trying to figure out what do you spend your money on first, because there are limited resources, and we just did a meet the candidate thing, and everybody's talking about, we want to keep the taxes down, but then they want all these other things, so it's very, very difficult, it truly is. Thank you, and we'll definitely talk about it.
All right, appreciate it.
Could I just double click?
My name is Dean Longo. I am both a tennis player and a pickleball player, I'm proud to say. And I would just point out that the tennis courts are in need of repair.
Yeah, we know that, there's 3.
But I appreciate the opportunity to play here. I pay a fee for it. I have no complaints whatsoever. If you could improve the courts, that would be great. I would recommend you not consider striping off the courts for pickleball. It would make it impossible to play tennis. You get lines running all over the place.
Right.
You really probably should consider, and I don't think as a group, we're even asking for that. I think if we would put permanent or semi-permanent nets up, we would be happy with the courts there. If we want to play in the afternoon in the hot sun, we can go there to play because the courts will be open all the time. So I would not recommend you consider turning tennis courts into pickleball courts, but the courts do need repair. And I've been lobbying very hard for that. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you
How's
very
your
much.
golf game?
All right, and is there any, do I have any other public comments on any subject? Michael? Okay. Michael, go ahead, Mike.
Okay.
Ann will never get a chance to start.
Nice.
Thank you.
I heard that.
Pickleball, what's your name and address?
Ann Smith, 204 2nd Street. And both pickleball and tennis are very important to our town. I can see that, and I think it's great to get people out recreational. But there is one thing, one venue that does not need fair weather, and that is our Surflight Theater. That is an indoor activity that I think needs a great deal of attention from our council and our citizens of our town, and our Ireland as a whole. And many things can go on. I mean, we had a great summer, we didn't have a lot of rain, we could play pickleball, we could play tennis, but there sat the Surflight, indoor venue, nothing happening. I know there's talk from going to the meeting at the firehouse the other day with the candidates about someone interested in purchasing, and I just like to ask the council to do everything in their power to maybe bring that to fruition.
We're working on it,
I know you are working on it, and I thank you for that,
Every day.
believe me.
and I think everyone should be concerned about it and doing whatever they can to help you and the so forth.
Well, and that it's important to hear those voices out there. That it shows us that we're on the right track. So thank you very much.
You're welcome, thank you.
All right, Michael, it's your turn.
There's not much I can say, I forgot my glasses and I can't see.
Are we lucky?
Next one.
I'm sorry I'm late, I just had to stop and get ahead of romaine lettuce. In these papers, is there the thing about the feral cats in here?
Yes.
But it's not online. All it is a little blurb online.
Once it's introduced, then I introduce it to the public, it's published
Oh, so if I
online.
go
it's
on
out
in the
there.
next few days, I'll be able to see everything?
That's correct.
Okay, is there any provision in there to find a forever home for these feral cats?
Not really, Mike. It's a very good program. They do that, when they trap these cats, they neuter them and they get rid of any kind of fleas or any kind of problems they have. They give them all their shots. If they're baby cats, they do try to find people to adopt them. The feral cats themselves are fairly wild. And the idea is that when you reintroduce them into their territory, that they will keep other cats away. It decreases the density of cats because they prowl their territory. So the object is to put them back. They are fed, and there's plenty of food for them. They do not have to kill songbirds and that sort of thing to eat. So that does happen, but they don't really try to adopt the actual feral cats. The baby cats, yes.
Because feral cats can be rehabilitated.
I know that, but it's a chore. It's difficult.
Yeah, you have to have a love for the animal and the patience, because they are really wreaking havoc on our environment as far as the birds and the small game. And if you're not aware of it, just go online and type whatever question in, and you'll be shocked at how close to extinction many species are. And I've rescued many feral cats and rehabilitated them, and I see them firsthand killing animals, and I feed them good.
There are feeding boxes that are placed out for them. They learn to know
Now, is
where
this
they
just
eat food.
this group that does this, or can individual citizens?
You can get involved, certainly you can do that, and you can get involved with the group. And they're very dedicated people. They actually have benefits to raise money, to deal with this, and it is a good thing.
Okay, did anybody make a comment about Christie's imposing the 23-cent gas
What?
tax? Did anybody make a comment about Christie imposing an additional tax upon us for gasoline?
We had an agenda meeting, we had a vote on it.
Oh, you voted on, oh, the meeting I missed. And you agreed with it? You did?
All of us.
Okay.
That honestly wouldn't go on.
It's an insult is what it is. It hurts people that are well off and people that are struggling so that they can urinate the money away like they did when they had the money the last time. They spent it for something else. It will bother everybody instead of taxing cigarettes, soda, junk food, plastic bags, anything that can better people's lives. They have to do this. I'm just voicing my opinion. I think it's an insult for the second highest tax state in the nation. And it goes from second to third, there's 1/6. I did find we're the 10th highest in the nation. So I went online to find these things out, and I think it's an embarrassment and a lack of leadership for the constituents.
Ocean County went pretty much against it.
Yeah, I
You
know
should
that-
write to Mr. Christie.
Well, I do want to write to him to read it off, but
If I had my glasses, I might be able to say this a little better. Are we gonna have any more time aside from meeting the new candidates personally and the two that want to stay in office to talk over ideas, thoughts, goals?
Not tonight.
Oh, no. No, tonight, I want it done tonight.
Well, yeah, I mean, certainly, I think,
Well, we got it.
you're very welcome to call me or Chuck, I'm sure, and I know
I see the
all the
other-
candidates are here in the room,
Yes,
and
it's
I'm
great.
sure that they would be willing to talk to you.
Okay, it's important
Right.
because they'll, whoever gets in office will bring us into the next step.
I don't think there's any more formal meetings, but.
No, I didn't think so.
I know when I ran for office, Michael, we had that one big meeting, we had it at the old Surflight Theater, and then they have another meeting where the taxpayers have their meeting in the Maritime Museum, and they invited people to come. And to that meeting, I don't know whether they're gonna do that or not, whether the taxpayers meeting or gonna have a separate meeting.
That was the tax.
That was the tax.
They're not gonna do anymore. I don't know.
Okay, just curious, you know, because it all counts. At least we're not finding nicknames for each other. So that's refreshing. Anyway, sorry I'm late.
It's all right.
And I appreciate, yeah, I'm back to my old ways.
Michael, we appreciate you coming to meet
I
us.
know,
Thank you.
and I will be talking to you guys, and thanks to everybody for showing up, even though it's pickleball.
Do I have any other public comments? Please come forward and state your name and address.
Hello, I'm Susan Green, I live at 1713 West Avenue, which is diagonally just across the street from here. My husband and I and a group of neighbors had been at the Meet the Mayor meeting at the library early in the season, and we just wanted to thank you for taking us serious on the comment to please improve this building. And we noticed there's a crew of, I guess, public works workers, they replaced a few windows, they worked on the siding. So we think it's really important, since so many people have had to move ahead and repair their property since Sandy, that the borough has done the same thing, even if the building's gonna be used just temporarily.
Well, thank you, and you can see it's still ongoing.
Yes, so that's a good sign. So my second, it's kind of a twofold question, because as I got up, Bill said, don't forget to ask them, what's the plan for the building after you move into the beautiful new borough hall?
That's still up in the air.
Okay.
We really
All right,
don't know.
we'll save that for another meeting.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you very much.
But whatever it is, you'll be involved.
Well, let's see, yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other public comments? Okay.
Hi, Susan Douthat, 330 Coral Street, East Haven, and I'm here to support the feral cat program. I am a feeder to colonies. I do TNR, I trap feral cats. I've got many cats on the island, mostly from the Acme supermarket down from Oak Creek. I feed and I currently am fostering kittens. I fostered many times throughout the year. We are always looking for volunteers. I mentioned about feral cats and the trying to socialize. It takes people to do that. You know, we're part of, our group is the Friends of the Southern Ocean County Animal Shelter, and that's who really is sponsoring the program. And, you know, we're always looking for people to foster kittens, to help out with TNR, tracking the return. So that's where it all is going to happen. That's how it will happen, to reduce the colonies, to help with the bird situation. Don't forget, they do eat the mice, and that's always a good thing too. So, you know, I'm here just to support that. If you ever have a question about feral cats in your area, you can always get in touch through the shelter, and they have the contact information to get in touch with all of the volunteers who volunteer here in all of Southern Ocean County. It's not just Long Beach Island, it's the mainland. And, you know, we survive on donations, and that's, you know, we're always looking for support, both financial as well as people power. So,
Thank you.
just wanted to let
This
you
is,
know that.
I'm the one that sort of got this started at Beach Haven, and I know I've talked to you. And I thank you so much. This is a very, very good thing you're
And
doing.
I'm so happy to see that Beach Haven
is taking one protecting feral cats. They didn't ask to be here. They were left abandoned to defend for themselves, and that's why we're here to help these otherwise helpless animals. So, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Are there any other public comments? At this point in time, if there's no more public comments, I'm going to close the floor to public comments. And now we have the final remarks by council, starting with Mr. White.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all for being here again, once again. As you know, you had our meeting Saturday morning with the taxpayers, and we were really impressed with the 5 candidates we have running for office. I want to thank them for putting themselves out to support this town and to bring their expertise and their time and effort. And I think you all did a fabulous job. I'm very proud to be part of this community on Saturday morning. So I want to thank you for that. And Mike, I was surprised you didn't stick up for the mice there, but I was, God, I want to tell you that I will do everything to give Veterans Park a shining jewel in this town. I'd love to see it come back to, its former glory before the thing, before Sandy. And again, thank you all for being here tonight.
Thank you, Mr. White, and Mr. Maskell, you're next.
Well, all I have to say is, don't be yucky, vote for Chucky.
There you go.
That's it. I'm sorry.
We do, even though I'm not running for election, I did listen to a lot of the comments that were made on Saturday when I attended the meeting, and I'll make a suggestion, and hopefully with the council next year, one of the people said, how do we get the voices heard of the people that live here but don't vote here? That are own homes and only summer residents. And I would suggest that we have more town hall meetings, maybe a town hall meeting during the month of June, maybe another town hall meeting in July or August. So we have 1 or 2 town hall meetings, so we give the opportunity for our center residents to meet with the council and talk to them, and not just at the council meetings at 7 o'clock on a Monday evening. So you people that are running for council and will be working with me for council next year, I ask you to strongly consider the idea of having a town hall meeting for the homeowners that don't live here all year and are only here during the summer. That's it.
Thank you, and I want to reiterate that. I think all of us on council are very concerned about all the people in town, taxpayers as well as voters, and this is a community where most of the people that pay taxes don't vote. And so it's very important to hear your voice. Unfortunately, your voice doesn't affect the election, but your voice is very important to us. So thank you. I do want to mention coming up in November on the ballot, there is a referendum that Beach Haven is putting forth for green acres. Now, this allows us, if this referendum passes, it will allow us to tax 4 green acres. It's a very small tax. It's like 1 penny per what? 1 penny per 100.
$100 we're pretty sure of value.
It amounts to maybe $25 for most people, depending on the value of your property. It's maybe $25 more per quarter, and I don't even know if it's that much. But what it does is it goes into a fund that allows us to purchase property that will be used for green acres. It also can help us improve the green acres we have. But the whole idea is to keep open space in our town. I'm very much in favor of this. One example is Barnegat Light, I believe, is the only town on the island that has been taxing 4 green acres for the last, I believe, 7 years. Because they had built up a fund for green acres, when the old Coast Guard station in Barnegat Light went up to auction, they were able to purchase that property and keep it as a green acre property for their town. it's very, very hard for municipalities to buy things because everything has to be passed by resolution or ordinance. We just can't, if some deal comes up in town, we can't just go ahead and buy it if there's an auction or there's a quick sale. But if we had money for Green Acres, we could, and that money then could preserve areas. And there are places in Beach Haven that we might want to consider that, one of which might be this property here. If we had that money up front, we could at least bid on it and put a down payment on it. And subsequent monies that would come in through this tax would continue to pay for that property. We have other properties in Beach Haven that might be important for this. That, for example, we have Beck's Farm over there, which is a very important historical building. And I'm not sure how this would fall under Green Acres, but it would be criminal to see that beautiful building destroyed and that property destroyed. If we have some money in this budget for protecting some of these spaces, I think it would greatly, greatly benefit us. And I very strongly support this, and I would hope that those of you that are listening to me or watch this on TV will vote yes to that referendum. I think it's extremely important for us. I know there's other points of view, but I think this is the right way to go. That's my personal opinion. And thank you so much for coming, and we're excited about pickleball. Yeah, well, the floor is closed, so I can't have the co-op talking. Yeah. Okay.
Nancy, I'd like to just add to what you just said, is that, you said it, and this was the mayor's initiative, and, we wanted to know that we're all behind you on this referendum, so I hope it.
Another piece of important information on that, and again, I support Nancy on this, is when you go for Green Acre funding, okay, if we were to buy a piece of property and it's established for Green Acre, there's very likely a match from the state government or the federal government to acquire that. So if you think about it, for every dollar we spend, there'll be another dollar of money coming from the state or the federal government. So, if we can do something, if we decide to purchase Beck's Farm or this property or something else, it would essentially be half anybody else would have to pay for it, because we'd have the 50% match from Green Acre funding.
What Dawn says is right. We are a Green Acre community now, but if we want to buy Green Acres, we only get 25%. If we pass this referendum, we get 50% of the cost of that property from the state.
So it's a huge savings.
Yeah, it is.
It's a huge savings, a huge opportunity, so please vote for it. Thank you.
And spread the word. Okay, thank you. A motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.